finally, in the next, I'm going to make you guys a promise. This is my promise.
You've lost.
In the next 90 minutes, you are going to laugh more in the next 90 minutes than you've laughed all week.
Okay.
Is that a good promise? It also takes balls to be an author as well. It takes even more balls to be a stand-up comic. So today, I am thrilled, humbled, excited to share with you my friend, my business partner, one of my all-time favorite people in the world, one of my best friends in the world. I'm going to tell you a bit about him. Denny Andrews is one of my clients. He got his book published 10.5 weeks. 10.5 weeks. The record. Denny Andrews has gone on to write maybe 3, 4, 5 more books after that. So what my goal is to teach you how to ride a bike. Once you learn how to ride a bike, you can ride any bike that you want. So once you learn how to write a book, you can write any book that you want. Denny is launching a brand new coaching program next week. He's also one of the leading authorities in this country on social marketing, social networking, social media. And I'm going to read you his bio. Denny Andrews is an author, professional speaker, stand-up comic, corporate trainer, and business consultant. This is a good bio, don't you think? I mean, there's some time in this. He has been a top producer in the mortgage industry for the last 20 years.
Stunning results.
With stunning results. Denny is also a leading authority on the root cause of the mortgage industry meltdown. He resides in the Pacific Northwest. Please give a standing ovation. Everybody get out and stand to Mr. Denny Andrews.
The reason that you want to use comedy when you're speaking is because you need to keep people's attention. And with comedy, there's a payoff. They get an endorphin rush. They're laughing. If you can get a couple of good, hard laughs to begin with, they'll give you their attention for a lot longer than they normally would. So we're going to cover why you need comedy and then how to put it in. And I've got some websites where they've got jokes that are funny. And you want to start going back through your life. And one of the things I'm going to cover towards the end is you want to keep a journal or a list of every single funny story that you have or you come across or you see from other speakers or whatever it is. Start writing those things down. Because I'll show you this stuff, is when you're planning your presentation, the way I do it, I write my content, put the presentation together, and then I go back to the content, and every 5 to 7 minutes, I put in a story or a joke. So you're giving the audience content, you go 5, 7 minutes, and then you're getting their attention back again. Then more content, 5, 7 minutes, and then get their attention again. And you do that, you can keep an audience 2, 3 hours. And the thing I most commonly hear is, that went by so fast. I can't believe it went by so quick. And it's because every 5 to 7 minutes, I'm giving them some, making them laugh, touching them somehow. I do a lot of communication training, and it didn't even cross my mind until I was going back through some of this stuff about looking at my own life for stories, to make points. I was in New Zealand on a wrestling team, representing the United States, and we're in this auditorium just jammed to the rafters. There's not a seat in the house. And we're, everybody's obviously from New Zealand. The only people there are me and my teammates and our coaches. And, I was shy like I am now. And so I see these 6 girls sitting in the front row of one of the bleachers. And so I walk over, and I've got my USA sweats and everything, and I go, hey, it would really mean a lot to my team if you guys would root for us. And they start laughing, and I said, well, no, seriously, if you would root for us, everybody in here wants to see us lose. You're all from New Zealand. You all want to see us lose. If I could go tell my teammates that, those 6 cute girls in the front there, they're rooting for us, they're just cracking up, and I'm like, all right, never mind. I leave. So later after the match, I'm talking to my coach, and I said, boy, the girls in the U.S. are so much easier to talk to than in New Zealand. He says, what do you mean? I said, well, I was trying to get them to root for us, and he stopped right there. He goes, what? I said, well, I was trying to get those girls to root for us. In New Zealand, root is the exact same word as F-U-C. And they're synonymous. Yeah, I got rooted last night. Exactly the same. And so I even had a full day of cultural exchange training before we went, because we didn't want to embarrass the U.S. of what to say and what not to say, and they left out root, like the one word. But I use that. See, it's a funny story, but I also use it how one word in communication can make such a big difference. You know? So stories like that that you think about, and that's one that I hadn't used in a long time. And then, you know, real quick, like copier guy. In my first book, I talk about how when I first got in the mortgage business, the best advice they gave me was, go to the copy machine, print out 1,000 flyers, you know, it was a mortgage business, go to real estate offices, and drop off rate sheets everywhere. Yeah, well, that was great, right? It worked so well that I did it every single morning for a couple hours. I'd be printing flyers and going to real estate offices. It worked so well, and I had so little business because of it, that at the Christmas party that year, the girls in escrow who did the closings were looking at me and asking people, why is the copier guy here? They thought I was the copier guy because I was there every morning with a tie on, screwing with the copier. And instead, I was printing out. So I use that and say, look, you know, just because someone tells you this is a way to get business, it's not necessarily the right way. So these are all stories, and and I'll show you the list. I literally have a list of 100 stories now after speaking for the last 10 years, all that make some kind of point and are kind of funny. And once you get going, I'll also show you some websites. You got a question?
Don't leave out the story in the UK about the dentist and the story in the UK about the game show host or whatever.
Oh, yeah, I got those in my list. So
okay, you gotta have them. You gotta talk to those.
I'll remember it. Okay, so and I teach this all the time. The first thing you want to do is always put yourself in the place of the audience, and it's such a simple thing, but people forget to do it. Whatever your topic is, whatever you're talking about, put yourself in the audience and then visualize your whole speech. Okay, if I was in that audience, what would I want to see? What do I want to hear? What would make it a great event for me? And you can do it in 5 to 10 minutes, and it doesn't seem like a very big thing to do, but it makes a huge difference when you actually present. Now, I go online when I'm presenting to a particular group. So, now that I'm doing a lot of consulting work, I thought, well, I wonder if there's any consultant jokes out there. And, coaching in here is about the same thing. Customized jokes. So you could say, what's a life coach instead, right? Or what's a business coach? I found a great definition of what it is a consultant is somebody who comes into the room, takes your watch off your wrist, and then charges you to tell you what time it is. I thought that was perfect. Okay, attention. That's really what we're talking about when we're talking about comedy, when we're talking about speaking, and actually when we're talking about doing anything. I mean, I found this, I thought it was great, the major currency in content commerce. That's what most of us are doing. Content commerce. Books, content. Blogs, content. Videos, I mean, whatever it is, we're all selling content. Speaking, it's all content, and you can't sell a lot of content if you don't have their attention and they're not seeing it. So I put together an acronym. I like to use those so that, sometimes it'll help people remember when they're putting something together. I use the word allure. I just, I like that word. I probably spelled it wrong. Is there 2 L's in it?
Yep.
Yeah, okay, I spelled it wrong, so now you really remember it. See?
Your acronym.
Yeah, exactly. I was talking about the French version of allure. Okay, so, yeah, exactly. Okay, so now that we're speaking French, here's what I want to get across. First of all, you got to admit to yourself that you have to be funny. You have to have comedy if you're going to be a speaker. It used to be you could get away without it. You can't anymore. Okay, you can get booked once or twice, but that's it. They're not going to bring you back when they've got other people that can deliver just as good a content and make them laugh and keep them engaged. That's what your competition is now. So you have to admit to yourself it's crucial.